logistics to talk about. We've got some physics to do. We've got a Friday worth of stuff to cover. So just a couple of things. We're going to put your phones away. You do not need those out right now. Okay, not just under your arm, not just to the side, but like actually put it away. Put it away. I see it. I can see it. Yeah, I can. Okay, thank you. All right, so that we can actually function and be a little community of physicists today. So a couple of things. I don't know if you guys have seen this this little post, but I just want to draw your attention to it because I know that I've heard lots of folks under the age of, I don't know, 50 or whatever, talk about how coronavirus isn't going to be a big deal for you. And honestly, statistically, probably it won't be. A lot of us are going to get sick, and it's probably not going to be a huge deal, right? The problem is that all of us can spread it really easily. Does that make sense? So if you think you've been infected, and friends, we probably all have because we've been here for a couple of weeks. Well, it's been out there, right? I'm not trying to like fearmonger, but I want you to be aware of it. There are people around. There are teachers in this building. There are students in this building for whom if they get it, it could be really bad. Okay, so I just want to say that because I want you to think about it and think about the social implications, not just, are you going to make it? Okay, because I think it's a pretty big deal. I want to just take a minute to like acknowledge that because I think it is important. Okay, we have not yet heard anything from the Iowa City Community School District about what the plan is, but I would be, frankly, pretty surprised if we return to school on the Monday after our scheduled spring break. I don't know, but I would be surprised. Okay, I've said this for a few days in a row, but I'm going to say it again. If we are not here, I know that some of us treat that as just another week or 3 or 7 or whatever of vacation, but I have to take my direction from the school district. And if the school district says, yep, you need to have coursework going on, then I'm going to do that. And that then means that you also need to be responsible for that material, okay? I am confident that if we don't have school and if we are given that directive from the school district, that the teachers are going to be trained up on how to do things, how to implement stuff effectively so that we can help you learn, but you have to do some stuff too, okay? So look for updates on Canvas, look for updates via email, okay? I'll send you emails via, like there's a nice little Canvas tool as well. If you need to get a hold of Mr. B or myself, these are our email addresses. It's just our first name, our last name, first name at iowacitysschools.org. Okay, you can feel free to email me anytime if you need anything. Yeah.
Okay, so if you go online, what about the students that don't have internet access?
So every student has the opportunity, if needed, to get a wireless hotspot. Okay, so if I appreciate your asking that question. So if your family, for whatever reason, doesn't have internet access at home, then I would recommend that you go down to the tech office today before you leave and just let Mr. Watts know so that he can either get you a hotspot or get you on a list so that we can get you a hotspot. Okay, they're free. That you don't have to like it. There's not like your family can only make so much money and get one. Like there is no question asked. If you don't have internet at home, we will help you get internet at home. Okay, so yeah, we will for sure help you. Yeah, no, but I'm saying like it's a totally valid question, right? Like can't do online access if you can't get online. Yeah. But thank you for asking that. I appreciate it. Other questions about logistics or anything? I don't know a lot of answers, but I can tell you what I do know. Okay. All right. So we are going to keep cruising on today. Okay. Our plan for the day is that we're going to do our quick warm-up problem. We're going to switch what we did yesterday. So those of you that didn't lab yesterday, we'll do it today. And those of you that did, we'll get your check-ins back and work on some 7.3 practice. And the last 20 minutes are going to be our data analysis and conclusion. And that'll get us through the rest of the day. Okay. So let's take a look at the warm-up problem real quick. Everybody should be engaged. Get out a piece of paper, get out your warm-up sheet. If you need any warm-up sheet, they're right up here. Okay? Everybody's got a pencil out. Everybody's got a sheet out. And again, you don't need your phone out. All of these things, pretty much the same as every day. Go ahead and engage with this and we will regroup in a minute. Let's do this. Do you have an answer? Did you come up with a ranking? I didn't get the whiteboards out because I'm trying to be kind of efficient, but I need you to help me out. Brianna, did you guys come up with something back there? Can you tell me kind of where you started? Like, how did you attempt to start this problem? Okay, how did you find the wavelength? Okay. Little bumpy things. Okay, so 5 bumpy things. We could call that, yep. Okay. So lambda is 10 in this one. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? All right. So if we do that, which seems like a reasonable thing to do, it asks us to rank the frequency. But if we know the wavelength, then we can probably figure out the frequencies, right? What else do we need? If we know with the wavelength, and we want to find the frequency, is there something else we need to know? I know it's almost done, you guys. I know that there's a million things on your mind. Why don't you get out your equation sheet or your green note sheet and see if you can figure out a relationship between frequency, wavelength, and something else you might need to know. What is it? The velocity. Yeah, indeed. If we know the velocity and we know the frequency, or the wavelength, then we can figure out the frequency, right? So we're going to find out something about the wavelengths. We're going to use Olivia's approach on all 4 of those. How do the velocities vary? Do we know? A lot of words up there, aren't there? Did you read them? No, you're scared of it? Yeah, you did. Anything in there that helps to indicate how the velocities might compare? She says they're the same with a big question mark in the tone. Uh-huh. All of the strings, this is what you're looking at, right? So if all of the waves are going through the same medium, how are their velocities going to compare? They're going to be the same. So if the medium is the same, and that has to do with both the string itself and its tension. Because if you ever watch somebody try and tune a guitar or tune a violin or anything like that, not only is it the string, but it's also how tight that string is, right? Don't like switch out a string to tune, you have to turn it to change the tension. Changing the tension changes the speed, okay? So same medium, which means it's the same speed, same, or now you know the wavelength, do the frequency. I'm gonna give you 1 more minute with your table to figure it out, go, okay? You now know how to do it. Make it happen. All right. Did you get a wavelength for B? Yeah? 8? Okay, Olivia's got 2 of them. We need somebody else to play 2. Maybe get a wavelength for C. 18. And how about for D? Corey, did your table get one back there? Wavelength for D? What'd you say? 14. I think you said for D, but no, I can hear you now. I got it. All right. We've got the wavelength. We know the velocities are the same. So what's the ranking going to be? Is it in order of the wavelength? The bigger the wavelength, the bigger the frequency? And you're shaking your head. Why? The smaller the wavelength, the bigger the frequency, because you got to multiply these 2 things together to get velocity, right? As one thing goes up, the other's got to go down. All right, so knowing that, I want the smallest wavelength. So that's going to be what? B is greater than A, greater than D. Make sure that I'm not making any silly mistakes here. Are we doing okay? Okay. All right. So friends, there's our check-in. Our plan now, I want you to stay in your seats for just a minute because I realized I haven't taken attendance. But what I would like for you to do right now, if you do not yet have one of these yellow sheets, I would like you to come get one. I'll set one person at your table to get as many as you need. Not everybody needs one though, okay?